American composer and lyricist at a time when that wasn't common for women to be. She is best known for a tune that actually became Disney's first hit. Have you guys ever watched Three Little Pigs, like the really old one? So she wrote the Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf, or co-wrote that. So that was Disney's first hit. But she's also very much known for this jazz standard that's well loved. And it was inspired by willow trees. Anyone want to guess? Willow Weep for Me. Has anyone heard this tune before? Very classic. But did you know that it was at first rejected by publishers? Firstly, because it was written in an unusually complex way for commercial audience, and also she wrote it in dedication to George Gershwin, which again was disapproved of at that time, to write a song in dedication to another writer. And so, you know, these songs are well loved and well known, but at the time it was just interesting to hear the stories of how women composers had to go through. But we're so glad that this song has stuck through the years, and we're excited to sing this one for you. This is called Willow Weep for Me.
A wonderful Tyra Kahlo on the vocals and piano. You enjoyed beautiful solos from Tyra and Veruca Tafashigio on sax. Okay, remember we promised we're gonna do North America, but we're also gonna take you somewhere else. So we're getting to the somewhere else, and it's nice and warm over there.
We need that right now. We need some sunshine. All right, so this next place that we are going to is Jamaica. Has anyone ever been to Jamaica before? Oh, good, a few people. Okay, good. So Jamaica has long been a powerful musical force on a global scale. Y'all ever heard of Bob Marley? You know who that is? Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess he's kind of famous, you know. And he left an amazing, beautiful legacy of reggae music. And that's just one of the many, many styles in the Caribbean. So I'm from St. Croix in the US Virgin Islands originally. So there's a lot of reggae there too, but there's also soca, there's also dance hall, calypso music, and a lot of this actually originated down in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, has anyone ever been to Trinidad? Oh, one person, yeah, okay, So I think the library needs to take a trip to Trinidad, y'all. I'm just saying. Let's put it in our calendar, okay? So Trinidad had these amazing musical genres come out of here, and it came, from that came this beautiful instrument that you see in front of me. So when Africans were enslaved and brought over here to the Americas, you know, drums are a huge part of the African diaspora, right? So we use rhythms, and drums are a great way to portray these rhythms creatively through expression, also to celebrate, right? For celebration, for funerals, right? So different things to keep these musical rhythms alive. And so back in the late 1800s in Trinidad and Tobago, the British were in rule at the time. They were colonizing Trinidad. And they had something called carnival. Y'all know what carnival is? Yeah. So back then it was a little different, a little more Renaissance-y than it is today. But it's the same idea, and carnival was a time of joy, right, and celebration, and even through that dark time, this was also a time for the islanders to continue their musical traditions. And so when the British saw this, they decided to ban carnival. I know, boo, British. And they took away the islanders and the Africans' drums because they were afraid of rebellion, right? And so when they took away these drums, the Trinidadians, the Africans, they had to find other ways to continue on their musical legacy, right? You know, and so during this time, it was a form of resistance. And so on the island of Trinidad and Tobago, there were a lot of scrap metal lying around the island, and that included 55-gallon oil drums. You know, and so the British, they threw those guys away, right, in the trash. But the people of Trinidad, the Africans, they saw this as an opportunity of resistance, of continuing on their legacy and everything that was stripped from them. So they started to mess around with rhythms, right, on this ordinary thing. And then they discovered that in a 55-gallon oil drum, if you have little bumps in these oil drums, they create music. They create pitches, not just rhythm, but actual pitch. And as you can see, it has no microphones. So it's actually one of the youngest acoustic instruments made today. And y'all know The Little Mermaid, right? Yeah. So that song, that's this instrument. And so, you know, I always think it's important to share a little bit of the history of our instruments that are very unique, because even though it does, you know, you feel joy when you hear this instrument, right? Like we're on the beach, or, you know, drinking something. I was just gonna say, I was trying to, okay, this is family friendly. Yeah, so drinking, you know, having a good time, you know, and that's right. And remembering that actually, you know, this came as a silver lining, right, through those dark times, and it shows the resilience of people, right, of human beings, of how we can fight through difficult and dark times to still find joy and to still resist those that want to keep us down and strip things from us, right? All human beings. Yeah. Okay, yes, that's right. All right. To the song. So, this next song that we're gonna do is written by a wonderful Jamaican female composer named Judy Mowatt. And she is very well known for being a member of the I3 with Bob Marley, right? One of the backup singers. And for Bob Marley and the Wailers. And she was actually the first female singer to ever be nominated for a Grammy in the reggae category back in the 80s, which is very exciting. And now she actually converted to Christianity and sings a lot of gospel music. So yeah, so this song is called Many Are Called. And you know, it's just about people can appear as something that they're not, right? And so you gotta remember though to find unity and peace with one another.
Well said, well
Right.
said.
Becky, would you do your really cool reggae thing with the rhythm?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
Stay tuned.
Okay, second verse.
Yeah.
One, two, three. Chosen, you've got to be aware of who the tree is clothing. You are called, you are chosen. You've got to be aware of who the tree is clothing. Many say they are a brother, and there ain't she's clothing. We are called, you are chosen. You got to be aware of woven she's clothing. Okay, we call this dubbing. Hey. Many are deceivers who profess that they are true believers. Oh, many preach, Lord, and many teach, but it's just way out of reach. Rhythm. Many come saying, brother, love. That's right. Many come saying, sister, head. Many come saying, peace and unity, but there ain't no peace. Peace to find. Many are called, you are chosen. You got to be aware of who victory is loaded. Many are called, you are chosen. You got to be aware of who victory is loaded.
Becky Dash! Now, as young Judy Mowatt students, do not leave the stage. Stay put, because I'm going to give you the microphone, and Rurika will introduce you, and you can introduce your instrument just before we go into the next destination.
Also, there are more seats up front for those who just entered.
Have a seat.
So we have all these fantastic juniors joining us. We call Women World Jazz Juniors, right? That makes us seniors, which is, I'm not sure about that.
Don't say that, Ruth.
Say, hold on now, hold on.
So our instruments are unique. You know, some of our instruments are orchestra instruments, and I think you will probably know what do you
Clarinet. Soprano sax. Violin.
Yeah. And then we have one more joining who plays electric violin a little later. So that's us.
Yeah.
And we have more unique instrument right here too. Right?
Right, I'll tell them about that one. Okay, I want to give a shout out to our Women in World Jazz Juniors before they sit down. And that last wonderful arrangement you heard belongs to Chiquinha, that teaches some of our Women in World Jazz Juniors, but definitely amazing arranger, don't you think? Yes. All right, you guys can sit down now, enjoy. You have some time to relax. And we're going to take you to our next destination, which is Mexico. We're going to go to Mexico. All right, and our next composer is someone that I'm not sure anyone heard about. Has anybody heard about Consuelo Velázquez? One person? Who's that one person? Over there. Yeah, raise your hand. Oh my God, we have someone. Yes, oh, I'm so happy. Okay, because no one recognizes her name, and I'll tell you why in a second. So, she's a prolific recording artist and composer in Mexico, but to the rest of the world, Consuelo Velázquez is known almost exclusively for one song and one song only. Now, when I say the song's name, everybody's gonna go, ah. So, let's practice us. Ah. All right. Bésame mucho. Ah. It was recorded over the years by everyone from Frank Sinatra to Elvis Presley to the Beatles. Bésame mucho recorded in 1941. And it's a heartfelt ode to a kiss of a young girl. Consuelo Velázquez wrote this when she was only 16. And she never been kissed before. but this is one of the most romantic songs, right, ever to be written. In 1916, she was born in Mexico, as I said before, and she started teaching herself piano at the age of 4. Later on, Velázquez also began performing in the radio, but it was considered a scandalous prospect for a young Mexican woman of virtuous standing to perform at the radio. So you know what she did? What would you do if you really, really wanted to play somewhere, but it wasn't acceptable at the time? Change the name, thank you. So as a result, she worked under a series of male pseudonyms. She often played her own original songs night after night, and no one knew who she really was. Later on, she felt a little bit braver, and the world just moved a little bit forward, and she began recording a career of her own, writing series of Latin American favorites, including Pecado, including Corazon, and Amar e Vivir. And I'm going to come back to this in a second. In 1999, the Spanish television network named Bésame Mucho the Song of the Century. And in 2003, Velázquez was immortalized with a statue right in the middle of Mexico City. So if you go there, look her up, okay? She's a lovely woman. In her own word, to love and to live, that's what Amar y Vivir means. She said, if we only love once, we must learn to love and live completely. So with that, we'll leave you and perform the bolero Amar y Vivir featuring accordion, which we thought is a very, very good fit for this song. So I'd like them to stand up for a second. She brought a very unique instrument. That's called cajon, and it's been used in different purposes, different grooves in Latin America, and today it's going to be our percussion. Yeah, play a little bit.
There's no nails holding it together. I think they just use a little bit of glue. Get the high pitch low. Very portable. You can hook up a pedal to it. All kinds of.
Yeah, all kinds of tricks. Are we ready? One, two, 1, 2. Porque no han de saber que te amo, vida mía. Porque no han de decirlo si tú des tu alma con el alma mía. ¿Qué importa si después me ven llorando un día? Si acaso me preguntas, diré que te quiero mucho todavía. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And for the next one, we're going to stay in South America. We're going to take you to Chile. You see it right there. And before I start talking about our composer, I would like to invite a special guest, one of the most talented students from Berklee College of Music, Amba Perez. So let's talk a little bit about Chile, and in particular, someone I admired for a really, really long time. Even before I came to the States, I heard about this woman because the song, one of the songs that she covered is the best mucho of the world as well. It's called Gracias a la Vida, and it was performed all over the world, including where I grew up in Israel. Violeta Parra. You see her over there. She's an artist, musician, composer, singing, but mostly she's recognized as one of the main folklorists of South America. And in her country, she was a member of the famous Parra family. It's 4 generations of musicians, some of them still active today. She began playing the guitar at the age of 9, and while she was 12, she composed her first songs. In the early 1950s, she began extensive work collecting musical traditions in various neighborhoods in Santiago and throughout the country. The new Chilean song, you can see a picture over there, was a social musical movement. It was developed formally during the 1960s until the first half of the following decade. The musicians and researchers sought to recover the traditional Chilean folk music and fuse it with Latin American rhythms, and she was at the spearhead of that, in addition to exploring lyrics with social contents. Violeta Parra is considered one of the pioneers of this movement that took over all Latin America. So Nuevo Chileno is in Chile, but there is the new Chilean song, the new Argentinian song. I don't know about Mexico, I'll have to find out, but I know that it was a widespread movement. She died before it gained renown, but her children, Isabel and Angel Parra, carried on with the project. Violeta was also an accomplished artist. In 1964, she achieved a historic milestone by becoming the first Latin American to individually exhibit tapestry, oil paintings, and wire sculptures at the Museum of Decorative Art at the Louvre Palace. And you can see another one of her art coming up. We got one more, right? No, okay. Lately, very recently, I found out that there was a wonderful documentary about her life and her music, and it's called Violeta Goes to Heaven. Now, unlike a lot of the smaller documentaries that have been issued in the past years, for non-Spanish speakers, there are subtitles for this. So I went and seen this movie multiple times because it was so artistically done and did such a beautiful job illustrating who Violeta Parra was. We chose to feature Gracias a la Vida, as I mentioned before, Thanks to Life. It was covered by many artists, Mercedes Sosa and Joan Baez, among the few, and many find it paradoxical that the author of Gracias a la Vida, which is a hymn to existence, committed suicide a year later after writing it. Other critics of her work perceive it to be a farewell song, something that she knew that she's not doing well and she wanted to remember and be grateful for all the things that life has given her. And I think that we have the lyrics for you to look at. Coming up right after this. There we go. Excellent. In her own word, creation is the bird without a flight plan that will never fly in a straight line, and Violeta Parra never did.
de quebranto, los dos materiales que forman mi canto. Y el canto de ustedes, que es mi mismo canto. Y el canto de todos es mi propio canto. Gracias a la vida. Gracias a la vida. Gracias a la vida. Gracias a la
Amba Pérez.
Our next composer is the famous jazz vocalist and composer, songwriter, Abby Lincoln. Raise your hand if you've heard of Abby Lincoln before. She's a prolific composer, but she was also very active during the civil rights movement. And for some time, she was married to the drummer Max Roach, and together they recorded an album called WIWJ, also known as the Freedom Suite, or Freedom Now. And so we're going to be doing two songs that she... One? Just one? Okay. We usually have two songs by her, but we're going to do one.
They'll have to come to another show.
Which one are we going to tell?
The first. Row.
Okay. Right. This one is called Throw It Away. I think about the life I live, a figure made of clay, and think about the things I've lost, the things I gave away. And when I'm in a certain mood, I search the house and look. One night I found magic words in a magic book. Throw it away. Throw it away. Give your love. Live your life each and every day. And keep your hand wide open. Let the sun shine through. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you.
stand with a gentle kind of motion as it moves across the land. And the hand unclenched and open gifts of life and love it brings. So keep your head wide open if you're needing anything. I say throw it away, oh throw it away. Live your life each and every day. Keep your head wide open. Let the sun shine through. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. Throw it away, throw it away. Give your love, live your life each and every day. Keep your hand wide open. Let the sun shine through. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. 'Cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you.
Thank you so much. To try again. Thank you so much. And that was Carla Bley on lead vocals, Becky Bass on piano, and our wonderful soprano sax player, Regina. So the ladies here are the Women in World Jazz Juniors already introduced their instrument. I want to just tell you a little bit about the group before we're going to talk about the composer. So today we have a violin feature, and we are joined by, freshly joined by another Women in World Jazz Junior. This one belongs biologically to her mom, Ririka, standing next to her. And Yara, can you hold the violin up so everybody can see how cool looking violin it is? Right, so I can compete with her, right? Because I have my cool violin that's also skinny. Yeah, so we match together, yeah. The Women in World Jazz Junior is a project we started in 2019, just before COVID hit. We have worked with various ladies or young musicians, and we prepared wonderful performance for the audience of then to be the library right here in Newton. And I believe it was 5 days before we were supposed to hit right on Women International Month. By the way, Happy Women International Day after. Let's hear it for Happy Women International Day. That was yesterday. So we were supposed to perform here with our juniors, and then everything got closed. So we continued with our juniors, and we recorded a lot of those virtual recordings, and they were just wonderful. They kept up with us, and now many of them are already in college. In fact, I have my daughter who was one of the pioneers, stand up please, one of the pioneer of Women in World Jazz Junior, already in college. So this is the newer generation right here. And we would love to share with you another arrangement for Regina Carter. And here she is. So,
Do you have a mic there? No, not really? Take mine.
All right, so we're gonna talk a little bit about Regina Carter. She is a jazz violinist. We have two jazz violinists right here, which is really amazing. She was born in Detroit, 1966, and she, as usual, she started out with a classical violinist, right? Classical Suzuki. Do you know anything about Suzuki method? The children, most of the children start with Suzuki violin. And she started with that. It's going from book 1 through 10. At the end of book 10, you play the Mozart concerto. So, yeah. And so she, but at high school, she was introduced into jazz, and she just fell in love with it, right? She loves Ella Fitzgerald. Oh, that's her. Yeah.
I surprised Miracle.
That's amazing. The violin looks so big for her. So that's Ella, right? Ella Fitzgerald. She just fell in love with Ella Fitzgerald. And then she continued, keep working on classical at New England Conservatory here in Boston. But then she couldn't give up jazz, and she decided to become a jazz violinist. She moved to Cleveland, I think, and then studied jazz there, and then became I think from the all-female pop jazz quintet. I think this is it, right? Straight Ahead. Yeah, in 1987, and she made a big hit in it. And then in 2001, she was invited to Italy to perform with Paganini's legendary violin, the Canon. And is there an
There's an
interview?
interview, but we're going to skip it. You can check it out.
Okay, well, next time. So she is, producing a lot of albums, but it sounds like everything is inspiring Regina Carter. All her life, like her roots, her experience, her family, other musicians, everything. And each of her albums is a tribute to those things. One of her albums is called Reverse Thread, and that is a contribution to the African folk songs. Also, her album Southern Comfort, that was 2014, is inspired by her grandfather's experience working in a coal mine in Alabama. So our song that we're going to perform for you is called Something for Grace. That's one of her, I think that's actually her first album that she made in 2006. It's dedicated to her beloved mother Grace. So here's Regina Carter featuring our violinist and us, everybody too.
Just before we play.
I just want to mention that we're going to use this exotic instrument from Cuba called the clave, because Regina Carter, as Verica mentioned, she loves a lot of different, and she fuses a lot of styles into her music. So this was her little journey to Latin music.
One, two, 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful, beautiful job. Okay, we're going to you're going to stay with us for the last one. We're going to breeze through this one because we're a little bit late, but we have one more country and one more musician for you. Her name is Chiquinha Gonzaga, and she hails from Brazil.
Yes, our next notable woman is Chiquinha Gonzaga. She was born in 1845 to wealth and privilege. She had a wealthy military family.
You hear it.
Yeah. And they could afford to give her the very best, and that included the arts. She was Rio de Janeiro's very first composer, conductor, and she wrote many, many songs. She is honored annually in Carnival by playing her. We play her song, Ariales, and it has been played since 1899. Think about that. So this is, in a time period when most women and men were slaves in Brazil. So she was very lucky.
And we like to simulate the Brazilian Carnival. I know it's a little bit past the Brazilian Carnival in Brazil, but let's bring it to Newton with Gabriela. Let's hear a big shake from everyone. If you have takers, not, you can clap, you can dance, you can use the aisle. All right, we're going to start in Martinia. And as we're starting, I'd like to introduce everybody in the band. We got Chiron Kahlo on vocals and piano. Let's give her some love. We also have Becky Hack on steel pan and vocals. We have Diane Getson on drums. Regina Carter on soprano sax, alto sax, flute. Am I missing something? All right. And I'm going to give Regina the microphone so she can introduce our junior.
All right, we have on clarinet Aya Bernstein. We have on soprano sax today Leah Salon-Kobi. We have piano Judy on violin, electric violin, and mountain trumpet too. And then we have Anissa Yasahara on violin.
And just before our last song, I'd like to thank the Newton Cultural Council for generously funding this project. So let's give them a lot of applause because they're doing a lot of good things here in Newton. I also want to thank our friends from the New TV right behind you over there, volunteering to come and spend the Sunday with us. Thank you. I'd like to thank Amber Perez that came and sang Gracias a la Vida, our guest performer today. And of course, all of you for coming and spending your afternoon with us. It means a lot to celebrate Women International Day after.
Can we give it up for Tal Shalom-Kobi on bass and vocals and accordion?
Thank you, without a doubt. till they turn the street corner and you can't hear them anymore. Thank you so much. Obrigada, Carla, gracias.